So for this fly, we're using just a scud hook, an 1120, size 12, with a slightly oversized gold bead on there. And then you want to thread 4 or 5, I think I'm using 4 today, of the glass green beads for this caddis here. These are made by Killer Caddis, it looks like. These are glass, so they get down a little easier than the plastic ones, and they tend to hold up a little better. So what we're going to do to keep the beads facing forward is just tilt that hook down, take some yellow thread, and you don't want to be right up against the bead because we're going to need some room at the head. But tie in just a little bit of a yellow butt there. It's going to give it a little bit of a hot spot, and it's mainly used to keep those glass beads in place. Just a few wraps of thread and then whip finish it right there. So that when we tilt this thing back the other direction, those beads are going to sit right up on that thread while giving us a little bit of room at the head. And then we're going to take some UV clear fly finish in thin. Thick would probably work as well, but I like the viscosity of the thin. And this part's a little bit tricky, not an exact science, but essentially you want to just get a nice solid amount on there. And it really moves around on that glass. So what you're going to do is just rotate the vise, let it work its way around, get nice and even. Don't want any huge bubbles. And as it's kind of tilted there in the vise like that, you start to get a nice taper. Just kind of eyeball it, get it right to where you want it, and then bake it in. And that's another benefit of using a really strong curing light. You kind of roll that stuff around, and just when it gets to where you want it, you can kind of bake it in that moment. What I like to do as well is take a little bit more of the UV, give it just a little bit of a taper on that yellow butt and cover that thread. Makes it look a little bit nicer. Bake that in. Now we're going to take some black thread, put it just behind the gold bead. So today we're going to be using some peacock curl for the collar. Tie that in. And create a nice collar with that. You could use some olive or black dubbing for this as well. Get a nice solid collar and tie that off. And that is it. I'm gonna whip finish this thing. Like I said, you can get as fancy as you want to. If you want to throw some antennas on there, you want to throw some legs on there, by all means. I like the little oversized gold bead just to help get it down. I think it looks a bit more natural when it's slightly bigger than the glass beads we're using. There you have it, Glass Caddis.